If you have ADHD, you know how some challenges can turn even the simplest tasks into real battles. Things that seem easy to others, like organizing your schedule or finishing a project, can be extremely frustrating. But here's some good news. By understanding triggers and developing strategies, you can turn these difficulties into superpowers. Today, we're going to explore 8 things that people with ADHD often hate, and most importantly, how to deal with each of them. Shall we do this? 1. Difficulty staying focused. Being easily distracted is a hallmark of those with ADHD. A notification on your cell phone, an unexpected noise, or even a random thought can completely divert your attention, even during important tasks. It's like trying to keep your eyes on a single point while the world around you competes for your attention, making each activity a real concentration challenge. This difficulty can have significant consequences. Projects are half finished, deadlines are missed, and commitments are forgotten, generating frustrations both at work and in personal relationships. You may even blame yourself for not being able to simply focus, but this feeling of inability is just part of the picture of ADHD. To deal with this, a practical and effective strategy is the Pomodoro technique, which divides time into 25-minute blocks of intense focus, interspersed with short 5-minute breaks. These blocks help keep your mind in control, turning large tasks into smaller, more manageable chunks. Additionally, creating a distraction-free environment, such as turning off notifications and using headphones with instrumental music, can increase effectiveness. Start with small goals and see how, with practice and patience, focus can be trained and distractions managed. After all, it's not about eliminating distractions completely, but about learning to navigate them with more balance. 2. Overwhelming clutter. For those with ADHD, visual clutter can be more than just a nuisance. It amplifies the feeling of internal chaos. Looking at a disorganized environment is like facing an endless list of tasks without knowing where to start, which can lead to total paralysis. At the same time, keeping everything in order seems like an impossible task, as the effort to organize and sustain the system requires constant attention. This cycle can lead to frustrating consequences, such as losing important objects, being late because you can't find what you need, and feeling constant anxiety in a space that should provide calm and functionality. But there is a way to break this pattern. Micro-organization. Choose a small place to start, like a single drawer or a shelf, and dedicate a few minutes a day to tidying it up. Use labeled boxes or containers to create visual categories that make access and maintenance easier. The idea is to prevent the organization from becoming an overwhelming project. As each small space gains order, you will feel the positive impact on the environment in your mind. It's a reminder that progress, even if slow, is still progress, and the first step in turning any mess into functionality. 3. Procrastination spiral. Procrastination is one of the biggest challenges for those with ADHD. Postponing tasks until the last minute usually starts with the difficulty of starting something, whether due to lack of interest, fear of making mistakes, or the feeling that the task is too complex. This delay, however, is rarely harmless. It increases stress as the deadline approaches, compromises the quality of work, and often leaves a trail of guilt and frustration. The cycle repeats itself. The longer you put it off, the heavier the burden becomes, creating an even bigger blockage to begin with. An effective way to get out of the spiral is to break tasks into smaller parts and start with something that only takes 2 minutes. When you focus on a small, immediate action, like writing one sentence rather than an entire report, your brain feels an initial victory, building momentum to keep going. Another strategy is to use a timer to set short periods of work, like 10 minutes, followed by a quick break. The feeling of progress, no matter how small, helps to overcome the initial block and transform what seemed impossible into something manageable. Procrastinating does not define who you are. With small changes, you could take back control. 4. Sensory overload. For those with ADHD, chaotic environments can quickly become unbearable. Loud sounds, bright lights, or even a flood of information competing for attention create a feeling of sensory overload where everything seems too loud and impossible to ignore. This heightened sensitivity not only makes it difficult to concentrate, it is also mentally and emotionally draining, making it difficult to relax or even think clearly. The consequence is a cycle of burnout that affects productivity, mood, and personal relationships. Fortunately, small strategies can help manage these stimuli. Creating a calm-down kit is a practical and effective solution. This kit can include noise-canceling headphones, playlists with relaxing sounds, glasses with darker lenses, or even an eye mask if you need to block out the light. Maintaining a quiet space to recharge your batteries is also essential, such as a quiet room or a cozy corner in your home. Whenever possible, anticipate potentially overwhelming situations and take your kit with you. Learning to respect your sensory limits is not only an act of self-care, but also a way to maintain your energy and balance throughout the day. 5. Emotional reactivity. People with ADHD often face intense emotions and sudden mood swings, which can come on without warning, especially in stressful situations or when facing criticism. It's as if emotions come to the surface in full force before there's time to process them. This can lead to outbursts of anger, visible frustration, or even a feeling of deep sadness. In everyday life, this emotional reactivity can impact personal and professional relationships, generating regrets due to impulsive or misunderstood reactions. Learning to manage these emotions is essential, and a simple first step is to practice pausing before reacting. When you feel emotions intensifying, take a few deep breaths and try to identify what is triggering this feeling. Just the act of recognizing the trigger helps to interrupt the reactive cycle. Techniques such as mindfulness are particularly effective, as they teach you to observe your thoughts and feelings without judging them, allowing you to regain control before taking action. Creating mental space between stimulus and reaction is a powerful habit that, with practice, can transform difficult situations into opportunities for connection and understanding rather than conflict. 6. Struggling with time management. Losing track of time is a constant challenge for those with ADHD. Time can seem like a fluid entity, where 5 minutes turns into an hour or vice versa, depending on the level of interest or focus on the activity. This phenomenon often results in delays, forgotten appointments, and the feeling that the day has simply disappeared. These difficulties can generate stress, affect relationships, and compromise productivity, creating a cycle of frustration that seems impossible to break. An effective way to deal with this issue is to make time more tangible. Alarms and visual reminders on your phone can help create milestones in your day, helping you maintain a more accurate sense of time. Planning your day the night before, prioritizing the 3 most important tasks is another powerful strategy. This reduces decision overload and keeps the focus on the essentials. Additionally, using timers to segment activities into short blocks, like 20 or 30 minutes, can help you stay on track without losing momentum. These small actions not only organize your time, but also bring a sense of accomplishment at the end of the day, allowing you to regain control over your routine and, most importantly, your peace of mind. 7. Hyperfocus challenges. Hyperfocus may seem like an incredible skill, but for those with ADHD, it is also a challenge. When something completely captures your attention, it's as if the world around you disappears. This can be productive in some cases, but it often leads to important tasks being left aside, creating delays or problems in other areas of life. Simple projects can turn into hours of uninterrupted work, while urgent commitments or responsibilities are forgotten. This state, although intense, is not sustainable and can lead to mental exhaustion or even neglect of basic needs, such as food and rest. One way to balance hyperfocus is to schedule regular interruptions, such as alarms or cell phone reminders, to pause and assess whether the activity is still the priority at the moment. These breaks help you regain control and redirect your energy to other essential tasks. Another effective strategy is to set clear limits before starting something, such as deciding to dedicate just 1 hour to that activity. With practice, you can make the most of hyperfocus without it dominating your routine, turning it into a useful tool rather than an obstacle. 8. Forgetfulness. Frequent forgetting is one of the most frustrating challenges for those with ADHD. From leaving your keys in unlikely places to forgetting important appointments, These memory lapses may seem small, but they have significant consequences. In everyday life, this can lead to delays, missed opportunities, and even embarrassment, affecting both your confidence in yourself and the way others perceive your reliability. It's like trying to hold sand in your hands. The more you try to remember, the more it seems to slip away. However, creating a visual support system can make all the difference. A whiteboard in a visible place to write down appointments or to-do lists helps keep everything in sight. Organization-specific apps, such as calendars with reminders, can send notifications at the right time to avoid forgetting. Another helpful strategy is to designate fixed locations for frequently lost objects, such as a basket near the door for keys. Small changes like these not only reduce frustration, but also bring more peace of mind, allowing you to focus on what really matters. After all, memory may fail, but a good support system can ensure you remain in control.
If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, we prepared the next video especially for you. Click here to watch.